I'm going to talk to you about Blackdog Outdoors, what we do, how it's scaled and how we get the funding for our work. Bit about me, I'm a civil engineer, that's my full-time job, so unlike many people in this room, I don't work in the outdoors full-time. But civil engineering is a high-pressure, fast-paced profession, and I've always found the outdoors, particularly mountaineering, a way for me to recalibrate, to take stock, to find balance in my life and to get away from that stress. So it's always been important to me. That's led me on to becoming a summer mountain leader, climbing wall instructor, volunteering for the BMC, becoming a mental health first aider, and ultimately the director of Blackdog Outdoors, which started as just an idea. The outdoors is good for me. Why isn't everybody accessing the outdoors for their mental well-being? We're a registered charity. We're voluntary, not for profit, and that's our mission statement. We provide free outdoor adventures for people in the UK affected by poor mental health. All those activities are led by qualified outdoor professionals, supported by mental health first aiders and fully insured. So we want to create a safe, educational and non-judgmental experience for the attendees. That's important to us. And that was one of the big inspirations for forming the charity. I know some of those statistics might be a bit old now. I don't know if the latest morbidity survey's been issued. It was impacted by COVID, but 1 in 6 adults will experience symptoms of a common mental health problem. That's a scary number. 1 in 5 will consider taking their own life. Even scarier, I've lost 9 personal friends to suicide. That runs deep, and the cost to the economy as well. That's a significant number. Again, I don't think any of those numbers and statistics will have improved over the last few years, going through global pandemics, war, Brexit, and all the other crap that we have to deal with. Not to mention the climate change. So why doesn't everybody get outside for their well-being? We thought we knew when we started the charity. We thought we had a good idea. Mental health is a barrier itself, costs a barrier. Social inclusion, and the Your Movement Matters survey. I don't know if anybody participated in that or read that. That was 21-22. Actually identified some factors that contributed to barriers to participation: lack of confidence, lack of awareness, anxiety, and cost. So we really work to address those barriers and try and overcome them, help people overcome them by using our lived experience, our mental health first aid skills, our compassion and our love for the outdoors to help people get out there and enjoy the benefits that I've always had as a privileged, white, middle-aged, bearded bloke. So yeah, our aim's quite simple: get people out there, spending more time in nature. It's important to have a mission when you're looking at funding, when you're looking to align yourself with brands. Your mission is very important. It's got to be clear, it's got to be well understood, it's got to be well documented. You've got to believe in it. We want to get people in the outside to benefit their health. We want to promote those ideas through member organisations because we believe that as a community, an outdoor community, and we're going to talk more about community this afternoon, but as a community, we've got a massive part to play in supporting people with their mental health and well-being, or we can. It's about joining the dots up. And we also like to provide opportunities for trainee outdoor professionals to come along and support our events. So we get them engaged in this idea as they're going through their training, their learning. We offer them some, group management experience, but they get some skills they can pass back into the community as well. So that's an important thing of closing the circle, I guess. We started as a signposting website, really humble origins. I dreamt up the idea of Blackdog Outdoors while I was sat on the side of Mount Elbrus in Russia, acclimatising. And I came back and discussed that with a friend, John Gale, lives in Hebden Bridge, really strong climber, but has his own lived experience. And we thought it'd be great to have a signposting website where we can let people know where to go for information on how to access the outdoors safely, where to get equipment from, how to get in touch with other qualified professionals if you want leading. And that was great. It was really effective. We got really positive feedback. And then we started to get other feedback like that. Information's fantastic, but I've got anxiety. I can't use that information. I've got no money. can't afford to pay to take us for walks. So we were so naive, we thought, well, we'll arrange this one event a year, and we gave it a name, Black Dog's Big Day Out. You know, we thought yeah, it'll be popular, we'll do one of these. Trail magazine saw what we were doing. They just started the Mountains for the Mind community on Facebook, but didn't have a mechanism to support people on that community. So Marriage Made in Heaven, we started delivering events for Mountains for the Mind with support from the BMC and Mountain Training Association. And we've continued to grow ever since. This is the second part that you need to get right when you're looking at funding, is scale. Yeah, we spent 3 years chasing our own sales. Yeah, it almost ran away with us. You know, we went from 9 events in 2019, slowly increasing turnover through a global pandemic, to running 140 events last year, almost too much. End of this year, we'll have 70 events, 170 by the end of August. We're looking at about 135, and that's it. You know, we can't afford to do any more. We'd struggle to get the budget, and we'd struggle to do it to the same level of quality. So understanding your scale you want to operate at is a really big thing to consider when you're looking at funding. Also where you're going to operate as well, and which events you're going to run. So why the outdoors? You know, there's lots of things we can do to manage our mental health. Painting, colouring, knitting, listening to music. I chose the outdoors from my lived experience. I wanted a charity that empowered people to spend more time in nature. We know that exercise is good for us. Lots of benefits to exercise in general. But outdoors in particular, I feel, you know, only my opinion, but Charlie, we crawled out of the primordial soup. You know, we're hardwired to live symbiotically with nature, but we don't. You know, we sit in lecture rooms staring at screens and listening to me, or driving up and down motorways. We don't do what our subconscious is yearning for at a primordial level, which is to spend time in nature. It gets us away from that pace of modern life as well, allows us to slow down and just be more present, because life is fast. But the big one at the bottom, I know anybody that watched Anita Grant's talk yesterday afternoon, I thought was fascinating. It gives us the opportunity to play again. We need to build play into our lives, because being a grown-up's hard work. You know, jobs, bills, responsibilities, children. I love climbing trees with my daughter. It's fantastic. Can't think about work when I'm having fun. 3 minutes. I'm doing well. How do we know how it works? This is the real crux of fundraising. You need to be able to demonstrate if you're going to ask somebody to invest in your organisation, your charity, your piece of work, they want a return for that investment. So you've got to be able to tell them what you're going to deliver, and you've got to be able to demonstrate impact. So the way we do it is we send out pre- and post-survey questionnaires, asking them what people's general mood and anxiety is before an event, and then another question set after the event. And we use that to correlate the impacts of that activity has had on mental health. And our data confirms that, funnily enough, being outside in nature, doing recreational things, is good for mental health. Just some stats there. We've got loads. Anybody wants copies of our stats, I'm happy to share them separately. I'm not going to read it verbatim. But yeah, generally people feel more confident and inclined to get back outside again once they've been out on an event and remembered how good it is, or how good it was. They might have forgotten. We've also had academic studies done by Loughborough University, Dr. Florence Knafik, did I get that right? Probably. Looking at qualitative and quantitative surveys of our work based on the attendees' experiences, not ours. So it's lived experience of the attendees. And you can see there, again, the same things. It's giving people confidence, it's giving people skills. We're expanding comfort zones. Interesting facts at the bottom. From our studies, that people with diagnosed conditions, mental illness, were more interested in the reconnection with nature than they were the other elements, getting outside the comfort zone and trying new activities. So I thought that was quite powerful. It was that urge, that need to be reconnected with nature. So how are we funded? I thought it was breaking this down. We run at a modest level, it'd be £50,000 for this year. Various ways you can look at funding, which is why I've shown this. There's charitable trusts out there. If you know your mission, if you know your impact, if you know what your scale is, you can look at these charitable trusts to see if you fit with their sort of aims and ambitions. That's a good way to get funding without having to bid for it. Local authority grants, you know, if you're working in a community, lots of local authorities have wellbeing grants that you can tap into. Small sums of money, but we get money through there. And the last one is just good old-fashioned fundraising, be creative, you know, sponsored events, you know, donations, reaching out to people on through fundraisers. So that's it really. I'm around all day. If you want to talk about any of this in particular, then come and grab me. If not, contact details are there. If you're a wealthy philanthropist with a few £1,000s to throw my way, that email address there works. Thank you.